All right, guys, welcome. This is episode 3 of the Bearzi podcast. For anyone that's new to the podcast, my name is Derek. I am a YouTuber, content creator, and aspiring filmmaker. And for today's guest, we do have a YouTuber, content creator, and an established filmmaker. So basically me, but better. And that is Mr. Bryan Primetime. What's going on, Bryan?
What's going on, dude? How you doing, man?
Good, man. How's it feel to do your first podcast?
It's weird. Like, just setting it up, I felt like a huge noob. Like, I didn't know. Like, I felt like everything's like it was just like starting from scratch again.
Yeah, you felt like you didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, even though I know how to use the camera and like the audio programs and stuff, right? It was just weird. But yeah, I'm excited, dude.
All right, so some background. Bryan runs a YouTube channel called Bryan. I guess, did you change it from Bryan Primetime, or is it your full name, Bryan Francisco?
It's just my name.
Just Bryan Francisco.
It used to be it's Primetime Live, which I don't know why I picked that, but now it's just Bryan Francisco.
So your channel right now has, I think, around 91,000 subscribers. So very successful YouTube channel based around videography, filmmaking, and the majority of your software is for Final Cut Pro X.
Yeah. So I do most of my stuff in Final Cut Pro. I do know how to use Adobe. The only thing is, I feel like it takes me like 3 to 5 times longer doing it on Adobe, so I just do everything on Final Cut. So yeah, it's just a lot easier to use. Well, for me at least. Yeah.
So you basically decided to choose not Adobe, Final Cut as like your niche for your filmmaking channel or videography channel.
Yeah,
that was the decision.
Yeah, when I first started, I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna kind of like share all the stuff that I know about Final Cut, just as a hobby. I wasn't like expecting to make any money off it, and since I was kind of like familiar with Final Cut, I just started using that program and then posting stuff on that.
Okay, so Final Cut is always your preferred software of choice. Like, would you ever use Adobe like over Final Cut?
I have for certain projects. Like, there's certain clients that want me to use Adobe so that they can transfer and use the files afterwards and re-edit certain things.
Okay, I see.
So I know how to use it, but I just prefer Final Cut.
And that's only Mac only, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So obviously I am not a Mac user, so I've never used Final Cut in my life, which is unfortunate for me because I'm always looking up tutorials, and I do watch all of your tutorials, but I can't.
Bro,
I can't apply any
switch,
of the knowledge.
you gotta switch, bro. Team Apple, come on, man, let's go.
Yeah,
it's weird because I love editing on the MacBook, but I still use an Android phone, which a lot of my other friends kind of make fun of me about. They're like, "Why are you using an Android?"
Yeah. You have the Note 10.
Note 9.
Note 9.
Yeah.
But then why wouldn't you get an iPhone if you use Final Cut in the Mac?
I don't like the interface on the iPhones. I just prefer the Android's better. Well, the Samsung at least, right? But I don't know, man. I think I have to switch though, man, because it's so much easier to transfer files if I need to, like, say, shoot on the iPhone and get it on my MacBook. It's just so much easier.
Because then you can just AirDrop.
Yeah. AirDrop is like huge, man. It's like Dropbox, but like on steroids.
But
it's so much better.
But it just links all your devices, right? For convenience.
Yeah, that too, right? If I wanted to send it to, like, say, Mary, I can easily just send it to her or my other devices because I have another iMac. So Mills uses an iMac, so I can transfer files to that computer easily if I wanted to. So it just makes sense for me to use an iPhone.
Yeah, because if you're already like using a Mac, you're using Final Cut, you probably have an iPad. Do you have an iPad?
Yeah.
So
I do. You just bought one.
I don't know. It's kind of weird that you have a Samsung Note.
I know,
9.
right? Like, I gotta switch, man. I think I gotta switch. Well, probably by the end of the year, but it's gonna be tough, man. I just don't like the interface.
Yeah, like, and I'm not bashing the Note 9 in any way because that's exactly the same phone that I use. But for me, I'm a PC user that edits my videos mostly on Adobe, and I use a Note 9. So Dropbox and all that, it all just works for me. So I don't know. I couldn't really mix Apple and Android products. I guess I could, but I don't know. I don't think I'd ever get Final Cut.
What?
I don't think so.
My goal is to convert you, man.
Your goal is to convert me?
You. I'm joking. As long as you're cool and like familiar with I guess the interface, then that's all that matters, right?
I feel like
'Cause they're all
both softwares are good. Like
oh, they're both
they're
good,
both
man.
probably
Yeah,
fine, right? So it's just preference at this point.
exactly. Yeah. And I feel like a lot of people, like a lot of creators I'm seeing online, a lot of them are starting to switch to Final Cut too. So
Oh, are they
I
really?
don't know if it's just I don't know if it's just because I just feel like it's so much easier to edit on Final Cut, right? Especially if you're just making YouTube content.
Oh, okay. Well, the
I get
simple cuts.
yeah, it's a lot easier to kind of like put things together.
Yeah, that's
That's
true.
my opinion, man.
Because Adobe can be overwhelming. Like when I started on Adobe,
It
there's
is.
way too many options. It's like too intricate for a beginner. And it's
Yeah,
kind of annoying to like just cut and edit a simple video if you don't know how to use the interface at all.
yeah, it
It's
is.
just kind of
It is.
annoying, right? So I understand how Final Cut it will cater more towards beginning filmmakers or people just starting off YouTube, for example, right?
Yeah, they'll definitely find it a lot easier. And like the laptop that I'm using now, if I was running Premiere on it, I don't think I'd be able to handle it.
Oh, really?
So I feel like you don't even need a top of the line MacBook Pro to use Final Cut. Like I'm using a 2015 i7. I can't remember the other specs, but if I ran Premiere on this, it'd probably like blow up.
Oh, so Premiere requires more hardware settings then.
I think so. If I feel like it does.
Hmm.
So I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like I feel like for beginners, Final Cut is probably the best choice, but not everyone's an Apple fan. So
Yeah, that's true. But there is a large majority of people that are Apple
yeah,
fans. But I feel like
yeah,
what's good about your channel is you post tutorials in a short and to the point like type of style where it's
yeah,
really simple, it's really straightforward. You get to the point, your step-by-step process is really easy to understand. And even though I don't use Final Cut Pro, I can see how people gravitate towards your channel to learn how to use Final Cut and to create special effects or learn new
yeah,
edits that they haven't done before.
yeah. I guess that's my main goal is just to make everything simple and easy to understand. Um, which makes a lot of my videos are just quick. But the thing is, I guess in a way I get penalized for that, right? They say that you should probably be making videos between 7 to 10 minutes, but most of my videos are like 3 to 5. So, but I don't know. I feel like I've built a fan base based on the short, quick tutorials. So I don't know. I feel like it's working.
Yeah, that's true. I understand what you mean. You're probably getting penalized by like the algorithm. Is that what you mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's true. But I feel like if your content is good on YouTube, like if you create content at a certain level, it's people will watch it regardless. If it's good, people will watch it. That's how I always feel with YouTube stuff.
Yeah, that's true, man. Like as long as you're providing them some type of value or some entertainment value, I feel like people will watch.
Yeah, it makes
Just can't
sense.
make it boring. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But in terms of Final Cut, are you fully self-taught?
Yeah. I just learned everything on YouTube. So I watched a lot of like just the basic stuff back then when I switched. I feel like it was 6-7 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Just watch a lot of like basic like how to use Final Cut videos, and it's kind of evolved from there. And if you see like a lot of my videos from like back then, you can tell it's just like basic stuff. So I guess slowly I evolved into a better editor, I guess.
Okay, so everything you learned was just from other tutorials on YouTube,
Yeah,
and then it's all just self-taught.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't go to school or anything for it. It's just everything was online.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like, I feel like that old method of having to go to school and get a formal education to pursue like a videography career, all of that is in the past. There's just so much free content on YouTube that's like really, really good stuff. Like, for example, Peter McKinnon or Daniel Schiffer or any of those big time YouTubers,
Yeah,
you can watch any of their videos or tutorials for free. It doesn't cost you anything, right?
dude. Exactly, dude. YouTube's like a free online school, man. So especially for like videography and photography, like you can learn so much just on YouTube. Like I know there'll probably be people who disagree with me, but I feel like you don't need to go to school for it. You can just find like everything on there. Like you said, Daniel Schiffer, Peter McKinnon, like they have so much stuff on there that'll teach you how to do the basics and even advanced stuff, right? So I feel like you can learn. Like if you're a complete noob who just want to start like videography, photography, you can find so much on YouTube.
Yeah. It's like an endless source of information that's just sitting there.
Yeah.
All you just got to do is find it, right?
And that's why I encourage a lot of my subscribers to just kind of like I've gotten a few questions where like, oh, should I go to school for this and or not? But I've suggested to a lot of them just even my stuff. Like I have a lot of stuff there that teaches like basic stuff, right? Just search and dig on YouTube, man. You'll find so much stuff.
Oh, true. Makes sense. So if someone was starting a YouTube channel in 2020, like what type of advice would you give them if they were just starting out on their channel in terms of video editing?
Just wait for 2021.
Wait for 2021. That's probably the worst advice I've ever heard.
No, I'm kidding. No, I don't know, man. I feel like a lot of people that I talk to, they have to wait for a certain thing. Like a lot of the people I've talked to, they want like a better camera or better equipment to get started, right? So, a lot of the subscribers I've been talking to, I just tell them to pretty much just use whatever you have, man. Like iPhones and Android phones now, a lot of them can shoot 4K 60 frames per second. Like my A7 III can't even do 4K 60 frames right now, right? So just start with what you have. Even if you don't have like a clear plan of what you want to do, just film yourself. Even if you don't post it, just film yourself and consistently like get better every time you do it.
Because I feel like that gear paralysis is something that plagues a lot of first-time YouTubers. And I was actually guilty of this as well. I felt like if I didn't have a certain level of camera, that the qualities of my videos would be shit. So I felt like it was a mental block for me that by not having that really nice, expensive, full-frame, mirrorless camera, that my videos would end up being like poor quality or somehow being subpar. But it's interesting because right now on my YouTube channel, which is still in its infancy stages at only 200 and whatever subscribers, my current and most recent videos are shot with my Sony a6400 and my Sony a6500, plus the 3 or 4 lenses that I bought. So I spent like a significant amount of money on those cameras and gear. But my Most well-performing video to this date was shot with just my GoPro, with no mic, no lens, no gimbal, like nothing, just a GoPro Hero 7 outside.
I think it's because I think it's because you were focusing on the content more than the gear you had, right? So you focused on the content, and the story that you put together was valuable to a lot of people. So a lot of people loved it, and they didn't even care about how the quality looked.
Yeah, that's true. And I feel like that's a huge roadblock for, say, people that do want to start YouTube and pursue that path.
It is, and it was for me too, because I started off doing wedding videography, and I met photographers and videographers that were telling me that, oh, you need a certain type of camera to be able to be successful in the field, right? So it was a bit discouraging, right? Because I was like, oh, well, I just have like a shitty Canon, whatever. I can't remember what I had before. It was just like a shitty Canon. They're like, oh, I can't really do anything with this. And yeah, they just kind of discouraged me in a way. They're like, yeah, you need this camera, which is like a $5,000 camera. Then I couldn't afford it, right? So
they were saying you needed that camera in order to be successful in filming weddings.
Yeah, it was kind of a roadblock for me. It was kind of like a mind block.
See, that's rough if that's the first advice you hear from someone in the field that you're pursuing. Like you were probably just starting out in filmmaking.
It was within the first year when I started. It wasn't just one person. It was like a couple of people that told me the same thing.
Oh, really? It's like, more than one.
Maybe. Yeah, they're just kind of like looking at my camera, like, oh, what do you use?
Oh, that's terrible. Oh, yeah, that's so discouraging. I don't know. It was discouraging.
So I feel like it stretched out my like learning process a bit, right? So I kind of like, there were periods in between where I kind of stopped and I wasn't motivated. So it was tough, man. I was like, okay, I need to get a better camera first before I start doing all this stuff. And I've always wanted to put content on YouTube, right? But that kind of stopped me from doing it.
Oh, that's rough. But
it all worked out.
I know that I've only done one wedding with you.
Yeah.
But at that only wedding that I did, I actually heard the same type of advice from the photographers that were working there.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember.
I know who you're talking about, yeah. I do. How did you feel though? How did you feel after that first wedding shoot?
Well, it was weird because I can't remember who it was, but someone asked me what type of camera I had. And I said a Panasonic, right? A Panasonic G7, which is a camera that came
Yeah.
out in like 2014. And you guys didn't make fun of me, but the response, I'm just like, oh, I felt embarrassed to say what I had
Yeah.
because you guys were all shooting with full frame Sony A7 IIIs, right? And then the photographers, they had some sort of Canon. I'm not sure what Canon they had, what type of Canon, but whatever. Like I had a really shitty $400 camera, and I kind of heard the same um, type of criticism. And one of the photographers was asking about like what kind of schooling or what kind of college and all this other type of things. And I was just like, man, I don't know anything about videography. Am I even qualified to be here? And I started to doubt myself if I should even be working at this wedding, right? Because they're like putting doubt in my mind that I have no idea what I'm doing because I don't have any sort of formal or post-secondary training. And that's really discouraging if you don't have someone on your side that can steer you in the right direction, which obviously which you told me to do, right? Like not to listen to that kind of stuff. But it's hard because a lot of people aren't lucky to have like a friend or a coach that can guide them in the right direction, right?
Yeah, because back then I didn't. Yeah, I guess I didn't really have anyone to guide me in a way. But I don't know. I think in a way it was good though, because I kind of like learn things. I guess it was the harder way of learning things, but I felt like it was a better way for me.
Yeah, because you had to
when
learn by yourself.
Exactly. Yeah. It was when actually I saw this music video by like a local Toronto rap group, and their video was like amazing. I was like, wow, like how did these guys shoot this? It was like crazy. And then they talked about like the camera they're using, and it was the same camera that I was using back then too.
Oh, the
And
Canon?
I was like, what? Yeah. And at that, then right then I was like, what? You know what? The gear is like definitely not like the main thing. It's all about your creativity and putting like the stuff together, right? And that's when I started doing more like creative stuff. And I don't know if you remember, I started like a website called what'sgoodtoronto.com.
Yep, I still remember it.
Yeah.
I'm still subscribed.
Yeah. So I just wanted to make like fun content and like kind of practice my editing skills and it's kind of like grow from there. So it started from that music video. I'll link it to you later. It's pretty cool.
Okay, I'll check it out. Yeah, because I remember that website, and I think of that as like one of your stepping stones. And I know, just like me, like finding success on YouTube, like some people, a lot of people call them unicorns, or like they find instant success in like a couple months and they just blow up for whatever reason. But the majority of people on YouTube, it takes years and it takes a lot of time to build your craft and get better at your skills and your trade. And I feel like for you, your channel is successful not just because you're good at filmmaking, but because you started What's Good Toronto, because you had a website, because you did weddings and freelance gigs. You did all these things to build your skill set. And then that's what enabled you to eventually build your YouTube channel over time.
Yeah, dude. I definitely agree, man. Like, I feel like if I didn't experience doing weddings or doing all that stuff for What's Good Toronto, or even like, dude, I did some random ass gigs, man. It was so bad.
What's your worst
But
gig you've ever done?
I actually took on like funeral gigs, and they were horrible. Dude.
Oh,
Like there's no creativity in it. It was just like it was so bad. Like I didn't want to film anything, but like I didn't just do once. I did it like a few times. Yeah, and I didn't even know like there's like people wanted funeral videos, right? And it was like such a sad moment from like weddings to funerals. It was like such a big change in like mood, right? So I took those on. Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like all of them kind of helped mold me into like that creator editor. Like I saw different things, and I just saw like, yeah, just different ways of shooting, and I feel like I'm actually happy that I took on all those weird random gigs.
But then
I feel like,
what did you shoot? Did you shoot like people crying in slow motion? like I don't understand. Like what type of video do you need for?
I had to like use a macro lens to zoom in on the tears rolling down their face, right? No, I'm joking. It's just, yeah. No, dude, I couldn't really get creative with it. It's just kind of like you film the ceremony, you film I guess the speeches and people talking and
Yeah. Okay, that
and
makes
that's
sense.
it.
Yeah, the
It was
speeches.
yeah, and I guess you just kind of like get like in a way it's similar to a wedding where you get the decor and
Oh, the
there were
flowers and all the
yeah, the
gifts
flowers and all that stuff. The weirdest part was like when they were like, okay, can you film the actual part at the funeral home? I mean at the graveyard where they're burying them with a drone. And I'm like, the drone is so noisy though, right?
Oh, that's
I'm like, I don't.
so bad.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know. And I'm like, oh, I gotta make the client happy. I don't want to like piss them off. And they're like, just do it. And it was so weird. I felt so awkward because when I started flying it, you know how noisy the drones are, right?
Like obnoxious
it's like
buzzing sound.
Exactly. So everyone was watching, so it kind of like took away from like that moment, right?
Oh,
and I'm
that's
like,
horrible.
now I'm like, they better not get pissed at me because they told me to do it, and I didn't want to like say no to them.
Yeah.
But dude, I would never do another gig like that now. But I'm saying like, if they ever ask me again, I'm like, no, I'm not doing that, man. It's gonna ruin the moment.
So when this dude's getting
so
buried,
bad.
there's a drone overhead going bzzz. Like, is that what was going on?
Exactly, man. It was so bad, dude.
Oh my god, that's terrible.
Like, I'm like, what do I do here? Like, what kind of shot do I do? Do I do a pullback shot? Like, it was so weird. It was like,
Bro,
it wasn't like a happy moment, right? Like,
you didn't shoot the body, did you, or record the body?
I did.
You did?
I did. They requested.
You recorded
they
the body.
Requested it.
Like in
They
the
requested
casket?
it, dude. They requested
Oh
it.
my
man.
god,
And that was the most awkward part, I think.
Oh.
It's just like they're like, yeah, just get close-ups, get like the clothing they're wearing and all that stuff.
Of the dead
It
person.
was so, yeah, man, it was so awkward.
Oh, I don't know if I could do that, man. That's brutal.
Yeah, man, I had to do all that just so to make a living.
Wow.
Make sure there's food for the family, you know?
That's a real hustle right there. Shooting a videography of a person's funeral and body. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know if
weird,
I could
man.
do that, man. Like I don't. Oh. But I guess you have to do what you got to do, right?
I guess so, yeah. Like when you're in that mode, when you're in like survival mode, I guess what I like to call it is just like it's kind of hard to say no to a lot of stuff. But like I've been like kind of mentoring a couple other people, and I've been teaching them to kind of like put out their value, like set their value and just stick with it. I know it's hard to say no, especially right now, right, with the whole virus.
Yeah,
and
it's
the pandemic.
really tough for gigs, right?
But like, yeah, but I was just telling them just kind of like set your value and know your worth and just go with it. Even though you miss out on like a few $100 gigs, one $1,500 or $2,000 gig, you make that all back, right? So I don't know. So I feel like knowing your worth and sticking to it is like such an important thing.
Wow, true. But what advice would you give someone that's an aspiring videographer or photographer that just bought a new camera maybe 2-3 months ago and they're, moderately comfortable with it and they've done zero work in the field. They've taken on zero clients. What advice would you give that person in order for them to get their first gig or get their first working job? Like, what would you do?
I guess if I was in their position, I would want to build my portfolio, right? So I guess it sucks, but you would have to do some free gigs, some free shoots.
Okay.
But I wouldn't just take on anything though. I would take on certain ones that are like aligned with what I want to do. So if I want to get into like sports videography, making sports videos, I would like maybe do free ones for, I don't know, like an athletic company or like an athletic clothing company or a local basketball team, just to like kind of maybe like make a cool little cinematic video for, right?
Okay, so you
like,
would reach out to them like on your own?
Yeah, it has to be aligned with what you want to do, right? Like I wouldn't take on like, I don't know, I wouldn't take on like I did this before, like a salon video or something where I'm not going. Yeah, just like I don't know why I took it on, man. I guess it was for the money. But like what I suggest though is stick to your lane and just kind of like go with the same path that you want to go. Like just don't take on everything. Just make sure it's aligned with what you want to do.
So find something that you're interested in and start off by doing free gigs there. But how would you just reach out to these people like on social media or?
Yeah, like right now there's so many platforms you can reach out on. Like you can do it on Twitter, you can do it on Instagram and Facebook are probably the best too. You can even email. And I've heard tactics where they find like an address of a business they'll make like a customized. They'll put a USB and mail it to them, and then in that USB, they kind of like talk about how their videos can make their business better, right? So it's more personalized and not just like a random email, which is a lot more work. But like if you send out 10 of those and maybe get one for like your rate at like say a few grand, I feel like it ends up being worth it.
Yeah, because it'll add up over time, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think another really important piece of information is that when you're starting off in any endeavor, skill, job, or whatever you're doing, I feel like that's the time you really got to hustle and like put in the hours. And I know that people say that you need to enjoy what you're doing, you need to have balance in your life. But when you're at like the rock bottom, say you're a brand new photographer, a brand new videographer, you have no experience, you have no gigs, you've made no money, that is the time where you can't chill, where you can't relax. You have to go out, put yourself out there, make mistakes, screw up, and that's how you learn and get better. But I feel like in the beginning, you really, really got to put in that time and effort in order to make it grow, right?
Yeah, and that's what I like to call it, like survival mode. Like you got to go out there, man. You got to hustle and you got to do things so that you don't starve, right? But the thing is, like, I also suggest, like, I guess it's what you're doing right now while you're building your YouTube, is to get even like a part-time job while you're building that business up, right? I feel like that probably is the safer and most, I don't know, it's the safer choice or safer way to do it, just so that you don't end up starving, unless you're just really hustling and like contacting 10 different companies every day. I feel like the way that you're doing it right now is probably the best way to do it.
It's like the most responsible way. I mean, not responsible. It's a better word. There's a better word than responsible. I don't know. But basically, I guess to put some context there is, I work a full-time job where I work 40 hours a week, and I am passionate about videography and filmmaking and my YouTube channel. And I know every content creator, every new YouTuber is plagued by this idea of they want to just do YouTube. They just want to focus in on that one thing that they love to do and just make it a career. But unfortunately, it's really hard when you're starting off, right? And I think there's enough time in the day where you can at least work a part-time job on the side. And if you're really smart with your time, you can also work a full-time job and still be able to create valuable content. And it's all about really time management. Like for me, I can't waste like 2 hours watching, I don't know, Netflix or playing Call of Duty. Like I don't have that time anymore. Like I'm in that hustle, that survival mode, like you said, where in the beginning, where you have 200 subscribers and no one's watching your videos and you're getting no comments, and it sucks, and it can hurt and it's painful, but you really, really got to put in the effort and energy at that point in your stage of your career, right?
Yeah, dude, it all comes down to like how much you really want it. That's what I think, right? Like if you really want it, like you don't have to do the full-time or part-time, but you'll go out there and find that 1 or 2 gigs that you need for the month, right? It's like, I'm making it sound hard, but I'm making it sound easy, but it actually is. Like if you break things down, say your goal for the month is like to make $5,000. Like if you really break it down, like, okay, say you're doing wedding videography. If you say, okay, I'm going to try to sign one client, that's $2,000. I'm going to try to get maybe 2 or 3 like commercial gigs, 600-700 each. Like you can break it down individually and on how you're going to make that $5,000. And I feel like it's a lot easier that way. Then you can kind of like have a better game plan.
Oh, so you just got to have like a better plan, kind of think it out.
Yeah, like I feel like if you just need to break things down, and I feel like it's so much easier that way. And that's what I did towards like, I guess before I started doing YouTube, I kind of like broke it down. I'm like, okay, I want to make this much, and what do I need to do to get there? So I just kind of broke everything down.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's a huge point, because in another podcast I did, I was talking about visualization, where if you have a goal and you know exactly what your goal is, and you just think about your goal, then you'll come up with all the steps in order to get to your goal. So like if you want to be a full-time professional YouTuber, then you have like a million steps to get to that point. You got to learn about thumbnails, keywords, titles, all that type of stuff, music, description, tags, comments. Like there's so many things you have to learn. But if you know exactly in your mind what you want to achieve, then all the steps in order to get there become really apparent.
Yeah, like if I really wanted to drive a Jeep Wrangler or Mercedes Benz, like I can make it happen if I really wanted to, right? Like I will figure out a way to make it happen. That's with anybody. Even I feel like yeah, like I feel like just a regular person, if they really wanted something, like say like a new PS4, PS5 comes out and they have no money, but they'll figure out a way to get it, right?
Oh yeah, that's true.
They'll figure out if they really, really want it, they'll figure out a way. And that's the same thing with your business. If you really want it to work, if you really want to make all that money with your business, you're gonna work and you're gonna find a way.
Yeah.
And I feel like breaking it down just makes it so much easier.
You know what? That's actually a really good point, because I know people exactly like that. They'll complain all the time that, oh, I don't have money for this, or, oh, I need to get paid in order to get that. And, they always have these excuses. But then when the new iPhone 11 or whatever comes out, the very next week they have it. Like they somehow found a way to come up with $1,000 to buy a new iPhone, right? But the week before they had excuses where they couldn't come up with $200, right?
Yeah, man, because they really wanted it. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it just all comes down to how much you really want things to pop off. Like, if I really wanted to start another business, I can easily do it because I know that I have to put in the time and I have to be passionate about it as well, right? Like, if I'm not, it's not gonna work.
Yeah, that's true.
If I really want it to happen, I can make it happen.
So what is the next business idea for Bryan Primetime?
I'm gonna start a salon.
A salon.
I'm joking.
A salon that does funerals.
Oh my god.
Hair and
no, man.
It's terrible.
I don't know yet, man. Like right now, like that's another thing. I used to be like, okay, what do I want to do in 5 years or 10 years? Right now, I'm just kind of like I'm happy with what I'm doing. I'm doing really I'm doing okay with it. I'm like making decent amount of money to like keep the family going and keep everyone happy. And I think I'm just gonna keep going with it and just see where everything goes afterwards. But I do want to start making more courses. I do want to just kind of like a branch of cinematography, just kind of like expand on it a little bit, like maybe create more documentaries. Oh, I've always wanted to submit something for Netflix. I think that's
wow, submit something for Netflix.
Yeah, so I want to submit a documentary for Netflix one day, and hopefully within the next few years. We'll see.
But your Sony A7 III isn't going to cut it.
Nah, man. I need to borrow a Panasonic. What is that? The Panasonic SH1?
SH1, yeah.
Yeah.
Or you can switch governments and buy the Canon EOS R5 that's coming out. Have you seen the specs on that thing?
Yeah, it's crazy. Is that on the list though for Netflix compatible like cameras?
Oh, it must be. It shoots 8K. Like,
yeah.
wouldn't it? I would imagine it has to be.
So. Yeah. Yeah.
Because you're talking about a full frame mirrorless camera that shoots 8K 30 and 4K 120 with IBIS. Like that's, yeah. I don't know what if that doesn't make the list, then I don't know what does.
Yeah, I was actually surprised that the Panasonic made the list because, like, if you compare it to the other cameras on there, it's just like, whoa.
Yeah, right. I was like, okay.
Yeah, that's cool though. That's awesome, man. It gives I guess people like us who don't have that high end cameras yet, like a chance to create something for like a big company.
Mm-hmm, that's true.
So it's pretty cool.
Well, hopefully Sony at least releases an equivalent or announces an equivalent. Because it's crazy that they don't have a full frame camera that can't do 4K 60, like at the very least. Like that seems crazy.
They're just taking their time, man. They can do it. They're just taking their time. Because if the other companies can do it, I'm pretty sure they can as well.
Yeah, and I heard next month in June there's going to be a release on their new camera or their new tech that they're working on. Did you hear about that?
I heard something about the what was it, the S3?
S3?
The A7S3.
A7S3.
But I don't know. Everything's just rumors right now, right?
So nothing's confirmed?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just going to wait till everything is actually confirmed instead of like just dreaming and hoping.
Yeah.
Just gotta wait.
Would you switch though? Would you switch to the Canon R5? Or no?
I don't know, man, because everything I have right now is Sony, so that means I would have to sell all my lenses and sell my other camera.
Yeah, you're so invested in the glass.
It depends, man. I want to try it out though. I want to try it out. I don't want to say no in case it's like just freaking amazing. Like I want to try it out. But right now I'm still Team Sony. So
Team Sony. Well, you convinced me to
Team Sony.
join Team Sony as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna make you join Team Apple as well. So
I don't know about that one, man. Good luck with that.
One day, bro. You're gonna be Team Apple.
One day I'm gonna be using Final Cut Pro 12. Maybe. Who knows? I shouldn't say never, but
yeah.
As long as Samsung keeps releasing at least some sort of comparable smartphones, I don't see how I would ever switch anytime soon.
They're gonna get bought out by Apple, and you're gonna be forced to switch, man.
Oh, I'll be so sad.
I'm joking.
You know what though? I was thinking about my phone the other day, and I was looking at the Note 9 without the case. So and its whole entirety was really slim. And I was thinking to myself, if phones never changed from this day moving forward, would I be happy with this phone? And I was like, I don't know what else I could want. Like, what else could I want from this phone that could make it better? The camera can shoot 4K. It has a stylus. It has a headphone jack. It has like the really small edges around the side. Like, it has everything. And I feel like this obsession with always improving phones is so crazy. Like, how much of an upgrade do you really need on the current phones we have now? Like, I'd be happy just keeping my Note 9 for, I don't know, 5 years.
Yeah. I think everything's pretty good, but they can improve on like the video quality. It does, like, I don't think it compares to like the newer the iPhones, but
does it really?
Yeah, it's so good. Like, you can still do that, like you said, like 4K and everything, but I feel like it can improve in the little things, but I'm happy with mine too, man. If I had to use mine for like another 5 years, I wouldn't complain.
Yeah, because I don't know. I guess as humans, we always want the latest and greatest, and I'm sure when the Note 11 or 12 comes out, then me and you are going to be suckers and buying that shit.
Yeah.
But
oh yeah, for sure.
I feel like with phones, there's a certain level that you can get to where what I have now is more than enough, or at least for me, I think it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't complain either, man. I'm good with mine. So unless they like release something crazy that I've never heard of,
yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
but I feel like cameras, I'm always gonna be buying new lenses, I feel like cameras is a never ending money pit.
Yeah, man, it's a trap. So there's so many things to like upgrade and like add on to your like list. Yeah. So you're never gonna be like, oh, I'm done, I'm good, I'm set. Because the next month there's gonna be something new.
Yeah, that's true. Because I had that problem too. I started off with a Sony A6500, which is an amazing camera, right? It shoots 4K 30, it has IBIS, all this good stuff, but it doesn't have a flip screen, which was driving me crazy. It was driving me so crazy that I couldn't see myself when I was ever filming my YouTube videos, which was a big point or big reason why I got the Sony A6400. And also because I wanted to have two cameras to shoot multiple angles of the same scene to get, that different type of cinematic feel based on the angle that I wanted to use. But even when I got that, now I'm like, oh man, I don't have 4K 60, I don't have full frame, and it just feels like I'm always going to want to upgrade some sort of part in my camera kit.
Yeah, that's one thing that Sony should have fixed like a long time ago, man. Like, how do you not have like a flip screen?
Yeah,
like,
that's every really camera. Bad.
Every camera should have a flip screen, man. Like, I don't understand why they're just starting to implement that now.
Yeah, and even theirs, it's not the fully articulating screen. It's just one that pops up above. But that's stupid because that's where the hot shoe mount is.
I know, man.
So like when you plug in,
like an adapter.
Yeah, you plug in your Rode mic, and it blocks the stupid screen. Like, it's crazy. I don't know. It just makes no sense.
It doesn't, man. You gotta flip out on the side, man. The side flip is the best. Like how the Canons and
right.
Panasonic has it, yeah.
But I feel like they're going, oh, we're Sony, we're different. This is how our screens work. You know what I mean? Like, they're getting stubborn. Like, they don't want to get with the times and do what Panasonic and Canon are doing as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure, man. I don't know why. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, it feels like a mistake to me. Like, I know you want to be different, you want to have your own style and own brand, but that type of flip out screen is better. The no ifs, ands, or buts. It's just better, right? In every single way. Because if you want to have the Sony flip up screen like what I have and mount Rode Video Micro mic, you got to buy the stupid adapter that puts the hot shoe on the side or whatever, right? And it's just so annoying.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping they fix it on the next like full frames, but they're starting to implement it on like the A6000 series, right?
Oh yeah, the 6600 had it.
Yeah, and the one that you have now, the 6400.
Yeah, I just want 4K 60, man, and then with the flip up screen, and I'm good.
It's coming, bro. It's coming, man. It's coming, man.
Hopefully,
I can feel it. I'm hoping this year, but we'll see.
But doesn't
actually we can't even shoot this year, so.
I know that's another thing too. Yeah, because we would shoot at least once every 2 weeks or so.
Yeah, man, dude, I'm going crazy just trying to figure out stuff to shoot at home, man. It's like I know there's a lot you can do. But I'm just like I love shooting outside. I love shooting stuff outdoors. Too. Right, so I'm like I miss it, man. Like I've been tempted so many times to like just go out and shoot. But I'm like, this is stupid. Like I can't do it. Like I don't know. I can't like risk my family getting it or me getting it and my family getting it. Right?
Yeah, it's not worth it, man.
Yeah, not worth it, man. It's just I miss it, man. Especially with the weather now. It's just like so nice outside. And you're like, oh, I just want to be out there and shoot.
Yeah, I know. And it gets boring filming the same gray wall. Like my house is gray, so I'm filming the same gray wall over and over. It's just like gets really tedious and boring in terms of creativity.
Well, at least you got a backyard and a front yard, man. I got a little tiny balcony that's so noisy.
Yeah. Oh, my backyard got messed up yesterday. Coco, our dog, went out in the backyard after dinner, and then she got sprayed by a skunk.
Oh no!
So like our backyard stinks. Oh my god, it was horrible. I had to go out there and give Coco a bath in the middle of the night, and she was freaking out.
How do you get that smell off her though?
Well, obviously I don't have tomato juice or paste or whatever, but I found a home recipe where they recommended mixing baking soda, dishwashing soap, and that chemical you use for cuts. It's in a brown bottle, peroxide.
Oh yeah, hydrogen
peroxide. Yeah, you mix those three with water, and then you really rub it into the hair of the dog, and that got rid of the majority of the smell. But the problem is, I didn't want to put it in the dog's face. Like, what if it goes in her eyes, right? So now, Coco the dog, her face smells like a skunk.
Oh man, poor Coco.
I know. So my backyard is rancid right now. It's horrible.
Damn.
Oh my gosh.
I thought you were gonna say like Coco just shit everywhere or something that you can eat outside.
Well, that too. She does that also.
Yeah, we cleaned it up, man.
Don't ask me. You want to come over for a barbecue?
No, I'm good, bro.
We barbecued hot dogs today.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh man, 2 hot dogs, 1 bun.
I'm such a glutton. I ate 3. Feel sick.
I don't blame you, bro. Hot dogs are the best, man.
Hot dogs are the best?
You know what's funny? Because I was actually just talking to Mary the other day about like missing street dogs.
Ew.
Yeah, well, Mary missed it. You don't like street dogs, bro? Oh, they're the best, man.
The street meat?
Dogs are the best.
Street meat in Toronto?
Oh, God. Just Toronto street meat's the best, man.
Oh, it's definitely not gay. It's definitely not. Toronto
every
street
time before
meat
I
is
had to
the
shoot
best.
downtown, man, I'd park at the same spot. I'd always get the same hot dog from this vendor. Oh, so good, man. It's like the highlight of my night.
Wow. Outside of Skydome?
Yeah, just around there.
Just outside of Skydome.
So good, man. I miss it, bro.
Toronto street meat is the best. Said here first
man.
by Bryan Primetime.
Yeah, bro. I'm gonna like, it's the first thing I want to do, man. Go to Toronto, just buy street meat.
Actually, the last time we had a barbecue, was that at my parents' house?
Yeah, probably.
And then everyone was having hot dogs and salad. And then I gave you 2 hot dogs and no salad.
Oh, this was like high school, right?
Do you remember that? That was so bad.
Yeah, man. I can't complain, bro.
That was so funny.
2 hot dogs? I'll take the 2 hot dogs.
Everyone has hot dogs and salad. You take double meat.
Yeah, I'll take the 2 hot dogs, man.
Oh, I shouldn't make fun. Yeah, it is good. I know what you mean by
it's bad though.
in
I know
the
it's
city.
bad. I'm Filipino though, man. We grew up on hot dogs, bro. Hot dogs and
Hot
rice.
dogs and rice.
The Filipino dish, bro.
The Filipino way. Hey, but you got Jollibee now, so that's all right.
Man. I don't know what it is, man. I feel like Jollibee is overrated.
Oh, really? You don't like it?
I don't know what it is. Maybe here because like the price is so. It's like so expensive just to get chicken. I'd rather get Popeye's chicken. I don't know.
Oh.
Mary doesn't agree with me. Like she loves the chicken there, but like
She likes it.
I think it's just whatever. It's just okay. Like it's not bad. It's just okay.
Is it because you're used to it?
No,
like
I just don't think it's.
wore off?
I don't think it's worth the price.
Oh, so just strictly a cost thing.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm just being cheap, but like, I don't know if it comes up to like $3-4 for a piece of chicken. I'm like,
oh,
dude,
really?
You go to freaking Popeyes to like for $1 something for one of the chicken pieces on like one of their days where it's on sale, and I feel like it tastes better.
Yeah, because
I think it's overrated.
The Tuesday special, like 6 pieces for $11.
Yo, but there is one thing that I love at Jollibee that we don't have in Canada. It's called the Jolly Hot Dog.
Of course, of course, the Jolly Hot Dog. What's on it?
Dude,
is there something on it?
Yeah, there's cheese and like, I don't know. I think it's kind of like mayo sauce or something. But it's so good, man.
Mayo? Oh my gosh.
I know. It's all the stuff that like you hate, man. But
You're
it's
just
so good.
adding fuel to the fire. This is like you're compounding the problem with another problem.
Oh man. Yeah, that's the first thing I get when I go to Philippines, man.
Oh really?
I get my cousin Mike to drive me to Jollibee and like getting the Jolly Hot Dog.
The Jolly Hot Dog.
That's it though. Nothing else.
But why don't they have it here?
I think it's because it's so bad. The ingredients are so bad that it's banned in Canada.
Oh my god. Okay, so the Jolly Hot Dog is banned in Canada.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't eat it. It tastes good. I don't know, man. That's probably why it tastes so good. They probably put stuff in it that's just like not good for you.
Oh.
But in Cali, I've had it in Cali in Hawaii. They have it there. I guess
they
in
do?
Canada, it's just in Canada it's banned.
Wow, that's hilarious. Oh my gosh. Well, if they ever bring it here one day, we'll go out and eat it. It'll be on me.
We'll do a hot dog review.
A hot dog review. Okay, well, hopefully, if this coronavirus stuff ever goes away, then we'll have a barbecue or something. Because I was out there barbecuing today, and I was like, man, I just miss people. Like, I just miss interactions, right? Just
man.
Talking to people, sharing stories and talking about crazy things that your friends and family have done. I just miss that whole interaction with other people.
Dude, it's just like I've spent so much time with the family, which is awesome, man. Like I started playing new games with like Mills and like spending like a lot of time with Zoe, just like doing like it's just like a lot of family bonding, which is really good. Like I love it. Like it's awesome. But just I guess you just miss that little like like the social life as well, right? Like just seeing your other friends and just going out and like grabbing a bite to eat with like your friends. It's just I don't know, man. Just miss it.
Yeah, I know. Like just going to a restaurant to grab food or getting bubble tea or just whatever.
Yeah.
Everyone misses that whole human interaction now.
Yeah, because every time I go out now, I feel like I'm going to war, right? Like I'm like, okay, I gotta put my sweater.
Going to war.
I put like a sweater on. I'm like, okay, this sweater can't touch anything else when I come home. I put a mask on. I'm like, okay, as soon as I come home, I put it in this bag, and then like I boil all the masks that I use because I use reusable ones, right? So it's like,
really?
It's like a process, man. And then when I do groceries, I don't know, we're kind of paranoid, so we kind of wipe it down with like Lysol wipes. So we wipe everything down and like. Then put it away. So it's like a process, and like, dude, I hate grocery shopping now, man. It's just
it's horrible.
So
it takes
sick
3
of it,
times
man.
as long.
Yeah, I'm so sick of it. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm glad. Like I don't know. I'm just gonna keep following everything. Like I want everyone to be safe. I don't want to be like that asshole who's just like outside and not like following the rules.
Yeah, that's
like,
true.
I'm gonna follow it, even though as much like I hate it. I'd rather be out there doing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's just I hope it like I don't know, man. I hope it gets better, man. But like seeing the numbers today, apparently it went up again, right?
The amount of infections?
No. Yeah. Just it spiked up again.
Oh man, I'm not surprised because look at the weather this week and look at the weather for tomorrow on the weekend. It's gonna be impossible to stay inside. I don't see how anyone is gonna stay inside this weekend. There's just no way.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's crazy, man. I don't think so either. Like I'm just seeing pictures of people like having picnics and like they're staying like 6 feet away, but like there are so many of them though.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it looks like the whole like field is covered. Like there's so many people out there just having picnics, and like I don't blame them. I know they just missed out like that social life and being outside, but like I feel like if everyone just kind of followed the rules a little bit, we can just get out of this quicker.
Yeah, because this is gonna keep getting dragged on.
Yeah, man.
Because like even on my street, there's a bunch of kids that were been playing basketball, and there's like 8 of them playing basketball in one net. And then I look, I'm like, oh man, there's like 5 kids from different families, and they're just like face to face playing straight up basketball. I'm like, oh my gosh, and those kids are going home to their parents, and those parents are going out. Like it's just never ending. I feel like the world is just gonna completely change from this whole thing.
Yeah, I think that the hot weather just made everyone forget about it. It's just like, oh, what? Coronavirus? What?
Yeah,
like
I know, and just want to like enjoy your best life, outside, right?
Man. Yeah.
I know, and for me, it's a shooting. It's like shooting scenes for B-roll for my videos, or shooting emotional pieces, or getting like nature shots. All those things is what I really miss, to add that layer of dynamic and layer of creativity to my videos, and I'm really missing being able to go outside.
Do you miss getting your cinematic tree shots?
Hey, my camera can't shoot 4K 60, man, so there's no slow-mo tree shots. No, this is horrible.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's bad.
I don't know what I'm going to do. What's that?
Did you hear about Patrick Ewing getting coronavirus today?
He did? Patrick Ewing?
Yeah, man. They just announced it a couple hours ago.
Oh, wow. Yeah, right.
Yeah. I feel like if they start the NBA season and then another player gets it, will stop again. It's going to stop all over again.
Yeah.
I think it's going to happen, man.
Well, I don't know what they're going to do, right? Because they're obviously hemorrhaging money at an alarming rate. And it's crazy because there's no way that the owners are going to put up with that, right? Because at the end of the day, money talks, right? And they're going to want to get that product back on the floor. Even if you play a game where no one is in the stadium, just like the UFC, right? The amount of people that will tune in on television and streaming will be enormous, right? So they'll still get money that way. Mm-hmm. And I just feel like the monetary pressures will get to them, and they're going to give in. Yeah.
I think so, man. They're going to do it. They already have plans to start it up like next month, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Orlando and Las Vegas.
So what would you do? Say if you were the commissioner, how would you just go straight into the playoffs, or would you try to finish some form of regular season?
Dude, I don't think so, man. Like, I feel like these guys are just coming off that summer vacation and then straight to playoffs just doesn't make any sense, man. They need that like training camp again to get back into shape, and then maybe like 5 to 10 regular season games just to get into it, right?
Yeah, I feel like you got to give them at least a few weeks.
You have
to get back
man.
into
you
the
have
flow,
to.
Right?
Yeah, it does make sense, man. Dude, if he started the playoffs right away, like I don't know, man. I don't think it's right. I feel like a random team will just win.
Oh yeah, watch the Bucks and the Lakers lose the first round, and everything will be messed up.
I don't think it's right, man. I feel like they need to give them like some games and training camp to get back into shape.
Yeah, I feel like you got to do something, but I don't know what the answer is though, because
I don't know.
You want the product to be good. Like you want the athletes to be performing at the best that they can. And obviously, game shape is completely different than being in shape, right? So they're going to need at least a few weeks to get back into game shape, get back into the flow. And if you don't give them at least 5 to 10 regular season games, then the playoffs are going to be horrible.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to go straight into the playoffs. If anything, I think they should just reduce it, like best of 5.
Oh, best of 5, like back in the day.
Yeah, like back in the day, just make it best of 5. And
that makes sense.
Give them like maybe another 5 to 7 regular season games. I know they were talking about like reducing the amount of teams playing. I guess they're going to cut off all those teams that are not like that are just far away from making the playoffs.
Oh, like Atlanta.
Yeah.
All the trash teams.
Which kind of sucks because then you won't be able to see like what Zion play and.
Oh yeah, like, true. And Trae Young,
the other stars. Yeah. I don't know, man. It's tough, dude. I'm just glad I'm not the commissioner. I just want to watch again, true. Bro. Yeah, just want to be a fan again and watch, man. I miss my Raptors. that documentary though, like I feel like they just released at the right time. The Last Dance.
Oh, The Last Dance.
Yeah, they released at the right time, man. Like it's like we needed something basketball really.
Yeah,
well,
it was perfect for junkies like us.
Yeah, man. Especially like seeing, because I don't know, I grew up like idolizing Jordan so much. Like I would walk to the convenience store and get Gatorade just to feel like Michael Jordan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dude. Like,
oh, dang.
Like he had that effect on me. But yeah, seeing that like the behind the scenes, it's kind of like having social media back then, right? Just seeing things that happened back in the back, which is really cool because like the only time I really got to see Jordan then was just in game and maybe like in an interview.
Yeah.
So it was really cool seeing them like in the locker room and like in the hotel room and stuff. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's like open gym.
Yeah, I love open gym.
Right? Yeah.
The thing with Jordan too is, I guess for us, I only remember watching him the last 3 years in Chicago, I think.
No, really?
I think so.
Because you didn't start watching him. You didn't start watching him before, like when he first won like the championship?
No, because I only started watching basketball the first season that the Raptors were created.
Oh, okay.
And
he
was already around. Because that was 90... What year was 95. That? 95?
Yeah, so that's probably the year after... Yeah, the year after they lost in the playoffs when he came back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I only saw the later years of the Bull years. And I saw the Wizard years, obviously, but I never saw any of the previous Jordan years.
I started in 91 when he's... the first game I saw was
91?
The first game I saw was the playoffs against the Lakers, like against Magic Johnson.
Against Magic?
That was when I was like, whoa, this guy's like amazing, man. Like this guy's amazing. That was when I was like in love with Jordan, man.
Yeah.
And I started buying basketball cards just to get him, and it was crazy, dude. It was like everything was about Jordan, about the posters, about everything.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So that's what I'm saying. It's kind of cool seeing all like the behind the scenes for that. It's like never been seen footage. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's true. I've always been a Jordan fan too, but I guess I don't resonate him with the same way that you do because I only watched him for a couple years, and I was more a Raptor fan specifically. Like I love Damon Stoudemire and Alvin Robertson. Zonta. You know what's funny? Zonta Bach was on that Croatian team that lost to the Dream Team for the gold medal game.
The first Dream Team, like when they first started,
the one with Jordan.
Oh yeah,
Magic.
Right.
Yeah, because it's like Tony Kukoc, Drazen Petrovic, and Zonta Bach.
Yeah. Oh, he was on that team.
Yeah, he was because he's Croatian, right? And then he ends up being on the Raptors.
Yeah.
Man, I love that guy. I love that team. It was the best.
Which one? The Raptors team or
the Raptors team?
Oh, the 95-96 team.
You know what's funny though? I was only a true Raptor fan for 8 years, I think, from 95 to 2003. Bro. And then I switched governments when LeBron James came to town.
Yeah, I remember, man.
I became a traitor.
You would cheer against the Raptors. I remember whenever we'd watch the games and they're like playing like the Cavs or something, you'd be like, "No, let's go LeBron, man." Like, fuck. Screw the Raptors.
Yeah, I'm a bad Raptors fan.
Oh, damn, man. I'm not a true Raptors fan, bro.
I guess he's kind of like Jordan for me because I saw his St. Vincent St. Mary days. So that's why I feel more attached. I mean, not attached, but I relate more with him. Whereas Jordan, I knew how great he was, but it was only towards the later years of his career that I actually saw him play. And even can barely remember him playing. I just remember them beating up on Utah. Like every year, just beating Utah all the time. Stockton and Malone, right?
The last 2 years he was in Chicago, they just played Utah, right?
Yeah.
In the finals, yeah.
Oh, and then Jerry Sloan died, right?
Yeah, that's today too, man.
Today, right?
They announced it today.
Away.
Yeah.
Did they say what happened?
No, I didn't get to read up on it. But Karl Malone was talking about a couple days ago how he wasn't doing well.
Oh wow.
But he didn't mention what I'm hoping it's not like I don't know if it's like coronavirus, but it's pretty bad.
Because he was in his 70s, right? So he would be at risk to corona for sure.
Yeah, man.
Wow, that's rough.
So bad, man.
A rough time to be a basketball fan.
It's another legend, man. Yeah, the year started off so bad, bro, with Kobe.
Yeah, that was just horrible. I still don't even know what to think about that.
It's just weird because like I wasn't like a huge Kobe fan,
Yo, I was a
but
hater.
yeah, like
I was a
'cause I
Kobe
don't know.
hater for years.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan, man. But like, I think it's just recently when he retired, when he started making like the short films and like doing all that stuff for his daughters. Like, I just became like a bigger fan just of what he was doing after basketball.
Yeah, I remember you showed
Yeah,
me
yeah,
what was it, Dear Basketball? There was
yeah,
a
dude. I love
documentary,
that.
right?
Yeah, he won an Academy Award for that, man. It's awesome.
Wow, it's so crazy.
This is crazy because like, yeah, he just showed you that. Yeah, he won like the trophies and won like the MVPs, but then he was able to do other stuff outside of it and win even bigger awards too, right? It's pretty cool. They can do stuff outside of like your profession.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I respect his game, but like during the time, I was like, man, this guy he wins too much. Shaq's too good. I was always like, go Tim Duncan, go whoever, right? Go Jason Kidd and Reggie Miller, even though you guys suck and have no chance.
If you feel about that, like if you feel like that about Kobe, do you feel the same about Jordan then? Because I feel like those two guys are like a mirror image of each other.
Yeah,
Yeah, I feel like
I guess so. I always felt like Kobe was just a copycat version of Jordan. I always just thought like he was just trying to be Jordan, right? And I was just like, oh. And I never really, I never really appreciated his game for what it was, even though he did have amazing work ethic and he, built his game up from what pick was he, 13th or something? Like he wasn't even a top 5 pick.
yeah, he was picked by Charlotte.
Yeah, by Charlotte, like 13th or 14th or something like that.
Yeah, I don't remember, but it was definitely like just outside of the lottery.
Yeah, and I regret not being more of a fan of his game, like in hindsight,
Yeah,
which kind of sucks, right? But that's just what
I started appreciating it after though. Like I started watching more of his like classic games, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
this guy's like crazy, man. He's just like so into it. He's just so passionate.
Yeah, like I always respected his game, but I just never,
Yeah.
in all honesty, never was a true fan.
Yeah, yeah, same, man.
Because there's a lot of diehard Kobe fans, like
Oh yeah, dude.
crazy.
And that's the thing. Like I wasn't a huge Kobe fan, but I was like so affected by like his death.
Yeah,
Right.
I know, me too. It felt like a cousin died or something.
Exactly,
Which is
man. It's like
weird.
a family member.
So I've never
it's like
met
a family
the guy.
member. It's like a family member passed away. It's just weird, man. Like I remember I was in Pittsburgh the time it happened. It was just like
Mm-hmm.
I was there with Mary and her family, and we were having like a gathering. And that night I just couldn't I don't know, man. I couldn't function. It was just weird. I was trying to join in. Like they're playing games and everything, right?
And you just felt off.
Yeah, I just felt off. I was just like, dude, this like doesn't feel real. Like I can't believe like Kobe's not here.
Yeah, I know. I felt so strange. I felt like I was in a dream. Like I was dreaming or something. I was like, really? There's no way. Like this has to be fake news. And for sure, because that TMZ reported it first, that didn't help it. Like in my mind, I'm like, oh, this is bullshit. There's no way. Like it's Kobe Bryant. Like how does he die in a helicopter? Like that's crazy. But then when all the information comes out, I'm like, holy shit, it's actually real. Like that actually happened.
I think it hit me even more when like we found out that his daughter was in there too, right?
Oh yeah, that's even worse because you have 2 daughters.
That's sad,
and
man.
I have a daughter of my own, and it's like the worst thing imaginable as a father, right?
Yeah, it's just sad, man.
Because I was just like, how old was she? She was
I think 13, 14 maybe?
something like that, right?
High school? Yeah, something, yeah.
Oh, that's horrible because she has her whole life
Yeah.
ahead of her, right? And
I know, man. And
Just
she had that
gone.
Kobe mentality, man. Mamba mentality.
I
You
know
can
it
see
could have been sick in the WNBA
Yeah.
or whatever she
Yeah.
chose to do.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I know,
why you
but
just
that's
gotta
life, right?
Yeah, I know, man. That's what I'm saying. You just gotta enjoy what you're doing, man. Don't settle for anything. Just enjoy what you're actually doing.
Chase your dreams. If you have to film that funeral, film it. If you have to fly that drone outside, do it. If some nail salon hits you up for $500 on a Sunday spot, you chase your
Oh my
dream, right?
God. Yeah, if you have to.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I guess it's just part of the process, right? Everything's just part of the process. Just make sure that you kind of make sure that you do stuff that's just aligned with what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any other words of wisdom for any new content creators out there?
I don't know. I feel like the same thing that I always tell a lot of other people that message me is just do it, because they're always like, oh, what should I get to get started? Like, what camera should I get? I have this phone, I have this tripod, but I don't have this camera. It's just like, I feel like the majority of it is just like, just doing it, man. Just put whatever camera you have in front of you and talk. And if you don't like it, don't post it. Just make another video next week and just upgrade, right? Just learn from it and make it better. And I feel like that's the best way to do it. And it's cool because that's how you did it. You started off with like a GoPro, you just filmed yourself talking, and then now you've evolved into these like little documentary short films, right? And I feel like that's the best way to do it.
Well said. Hey man, we just did an hour.
Oh, sweet.
Was that quick?
Yeah, that was quick, man. I didn't even know it was an hour. Yeah.
How's your first podcast?
It was good, man. It's good. Just, I guess it kind of started off, I was a little nervous at first, but I guess my drink and the drink helped a little bit.
Yeah, true. All right, well, let's wrap it up. Where can the listeners check out your pages at?
Just search for me on YouTube. Just type in Bryan Francisco, Bryan, not Brian.
All right, BRY, the Filipino way.
Yeah.
All right, bro. Way. Thanks for coming on the podcast. Hopefully you'll come back on another future episode.
Yeah, and we'll see you next year.
Yeah, man. All right, guys. That's pretty much it. That was episode 3 of the Bearzi podcast, and we'll see you guys next week. Peace.
See ya, man. Lates.
Yeah, thanks, bro. That was good.